Page 11 or page 254 in the Sim Shalom.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
ישמחו השמיים ותבל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל עצי יער, לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט צדק ועמים ואמונתו. היי 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 היי
We continue a few lines down on page 16 or page 256.
Shama tismach Zion v'tagena benot Yehuda b'mar mishpatecha Adonai.
נפשות חסידיו, מיד רשעים יצילם.
אור זרעו על הצדיק, וישרה לב שמחה. שמחו צדיקות באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. מזמור שיר חדש, שיר חדש, הודיע אדוני ישועתו לעיניך. זכר חסר ואמונתו לבית ישראל.
לפני אדוני קיווה ישבות הארץ ישבות טבע בצדק פעמים במישרים
אדוני מלאכים בזיון יושב רבים קטנות ארץ אדוני בציון הדור יודו שמך גדול ונורא קדוש יועז בני
משה ואהרון וכהניו ושמואל וקורא שמו קוראים אל אדוני והוא יענה
שמרו עדותיו וחוף נתן לעמו
אדוני אלוהינו אתה ניתן ונושא יתעלם ונוקם על עלילותיו
הוא אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו.
We turn to page 21 or page 260 in the same shalom or Mizmor LeDavid.
מזמור לדוד הבו לאדוני בני אלי אדוני כבוד שמו ישתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I'm going to invite everyone to take a moment to think about a sweet or maybe one of your favorite or your absolute favorite childhood memory from when you were really young, maybe something that sticks out to you. I'm just going to take a moment to pause to let those who are joining us to think about it, and I'm also going to turn and ask those who are with me, Felicia and Ari, if there's a moment that you want to share with us, just going back into that inner child inside of us. So just take a moment to think of your own, and I'll ask Ari if you want to start. Do you have a moment that you're thinking of from your childhood?
How far back do I need to go?
It's a long
It's a long
way
time.
on.
It's a long
Go
way
back.
back. So, one memory that comes to mind is, and this will be funny also in the context of me being in Hazzan here in New York City, where I was in school, a day school that I was taught in Spanish, in Hebrew, and in English. And one year, in first grade, I fell in Hebrew, in second grade, I fell in English, third Hebrew, I fell in Hebrew. At some point, my mom realized that maybe it was too much, and eventually end up here. But the memory goes back to the fact that when you fail in Argentina, we call it that you go to March. March meaning the month of March, because you actually have to give another test in March to basically prove that you passed the test. And so we will go on vacation, and I was 7, 8, and the memory that I have is me. I love to drive. Obviously, I was not able to drive, but I will actually just basically take anything that I can find in the house that look like utensils that I can use to drive, and I will put the how you call it, the beach shoes, whatever the
Flip-flops?
the flip-flops upside down, and the other will be my pedals. And I will sit down and I will drive. And I was supposed to be studying for my test for March, but I was enjoying myself just driving in my imagination. That was a beautiful game I used to play.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love picturing that little Ari playing with the flip-flops as a car. But I know you also love driving now, so it's
exactly. It's a projection. Yes.
Brought into your life now. Beautiful. And Felicia, is there a moment coming to mind for you?
So one moment that came to mind is that my dad's parents lived in Queens, and we must have been at my grandparents' for something without my parents, and they took. I must have been 5 or 6, and they took us. They lived not far from LaGuardia, and also where the World Fair was, with that big world globe, humongous, of I don't know what material it is, aluminum or silver, or pewter. And my brother and I, he's a little bit older than I am, 16 months, and we ran around the world. And it was like a big thing, like we ran around the world, So every time, it happens that I drive that way often when I'm going to funerals, which is, and my grandparents are no longer living, but those grandparents. But whenever I see that spot, and I've narrated it to my kids, but it doesn't translate in the same way because they've never actually run in that spot, and so that's one of my very sweet memories of running around the world.
Beautiful. I appreciate both of you sharing, and I hope it's bringing memories back to those who are joining us from wherever you are. There's something, even as we're talking about it, the smile comes to our faces, and I was thinking about, for me, and it feels very appropriate, as I walked here, it was snowing, and I think some of my sweetest memories from childhood are in the snow. And I remember Mrs. Morehouse would call us. She was the class parent, and she would tell us there's a snow day. And we would be waiting by the phone to hear the phone call. It would be me and my brother. And then the day would unfold. We knew that we didn't really have to get out of bed so early, and we would wear our pajamas. We would stay and watch TV and drink hot chocolate, and then the time would come to go outside. We would don our snow gear, and we would jump into the snow and play, and walking into, I remember that moment of just walking into the world as a snow globe, and thinking about that joy and the cold, the fresh, but it just, there was something magical about that moment. And I have been watching, I have a 6-month-old, and I've been watching her look at snow for the first time out the window. And it is it's magical. It's just as magical as those moments in my childhood of walking out into the snow for the first time. And in our Parsha this week, it's Parshat Truma, and we get a list of all of the things that are in the Mishkan. We get a list of all of the things that are in this portable tabernacle that we are walking around with. We just received the Torah at Sinai. And part of the description that we get here is of the ark. And the ark is guarded by these two cherubim. And it tells us, V'asita shnayim kruvim zahav miksha ta'aseh otam mishnei ktsot hakaporet. That they were facing outside of the ark. You could almost imagine behind me you have these two cherubim that are facing each other. And it says later, it says, Ufnehem ish el echav, that they were actually looking at each other. And in the Gemara, there's a conversation about what is this cherub? What my keruv? What is a keruv? And they do an amazing, the rabbis love to play with language, thinking about your story. They love to play with language and they say, oh, it sounds like the word that we have for a child in the Aramaic. And so they say that the cherubim, and we have this tradition also, I think, in our culture, Western culture, that the cherub has the face of a child. And I love thinking about these two angel-like figures facing each other with the faces of children. And then the text tells us that that is actually where God comes to speak with us. That is the place. And so I was imagining and thinking about what is it for us to encounter God in the place where we meet our inner child, where we meet that inner part of us that is the awe, that is the wonder. And then I started thinking about, and I think a lot of us this week are thinking about snow in very different ways. And in the way that, and the play of the words, and now I'm going to take this, the word for awe in Hebrew is also yirah, which also can mean fear. And I was thinking so much about how our childhood memories and being a child is connected to that awe and wonder, right? Rabbi Heschel speaks about, Abraham Joshua Heschel speaks of awe and wonder as being that place where we meet God, but also fear, right? Childhood has a lot of fear. We have a lot of things we don't know, even that fear of the dark or fear of people who are a lot larger than us, right? We're walking through the world just not knowing a lot. And thinking about that turn of snow this week for our fellow Americans, for our community members, for our loved ones who are in Texas, who have been devastated and struggling and who have lost lives due to snow, and thinking about, right, what is it not only to meet God in those moments of awe and wonder, but also in the moments of fear. And our Parsha tells us, it says that we should make the tabernacle and that God will dwell among us. And what I wanted to think about as we bring in Shabbat, as we bring in the Shekhinah, the Shabbat Queen, of inviting that inner child, that part of us, the fear, the awe, the wonder, and really encountering God in that place as we bow and we welcome Shabbat, we welcome the Shabbat Queen. So we will continue with Lecha Dodi on page 23 or page 262, and I invite you to welcome in Shabbat, to welcome in God, and to welcome in that inner child within all of us. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat nekabla hoirecha dodi likrat kadam Shabbat nekabla shamor bezachor בדיבורך השמיענו אל המיוחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת קנה יבבה בן שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קנה יבבה בן שבת נקבלה שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קנה יבבה בן שבת נקבלה שבת נקבלה אוי לך דודי לקראת קנה יבבה בשבת נקבלה יבבה נערי אוי מעפר קומי לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי יבבה על יד בית ישי בית הלחמי קורבה אל נפשי גאלי לך דודי לקראת קנה בן שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קנה בן שבת שוסייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס חתן הכלה וחדוני לקראת כלה שבת נקבלה וחדוני לקראת כלה שבת נקבלה לקראת כלה שבת נקבלה וחדוני לקראת כלה שבת נקבלה לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
בואי בשלום העטרת בלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה
שבת המלכה
We turn to page 27 or 266 for the Psalm of the day, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
טוב להודות לאדוני טוב להגיד בבוקר הסליחה להגיד בבוקר הסליחה
באמונתך בלילה באמונתך בלילה
טוב להודות עוד ינובון בשיבה עדותיך נאמנו מאוד.
עדותיך נאמנו מאוד.
בביתך הקודש אדוני, לאורך
So before we move into Arvit, we're going to sing that beautiful Nigun, the Baal Shem Tov Nigun that we learned last week and make this break. Actually, Kabbalat Shabbat never is a very late addition to the tradition, and so, but it was a way to find our way into Shabbat, actually, to not have it be such a harsh turn, but actually an invitation, slowly making our way into finding that spaciousness, that connection. So this Nigun does that too. Sometimes a nigun is like running around the world, just like it feels like to be at the World Fair. So we hope everyone finds their way to travel with these nigunim. We turn now to Baruchu, page 39a, or page 279 if you're able to rise.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed
Maybe seated Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hashem yivarach ma'arim v'amarim v'chochma potach sharim u'v'yirpuna mishanei tiv v'chalifat hazmanim v'sader
Ma'aver yom u'mevi layla Ma'avdil ben yom u'ben layla Tonight's Lord Shalom El Chai v'kayam Tamidim lo chaleinu l'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hamari v'aravi
Avatana me'tzah v'chatorah v'mitzvot v'kibben shatim otanu l'maretah k'nanu l'ayvenu v'shofnim v'shofminu nasiach Ki hem chayenu yorech yameinu v'hem negeh yomam b'layla ve'avatcha tasim ribenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובמלאכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובישעריך שמות תשמע Turn now to Michamocha, page 44 or page 290.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם רב ובניך בוקר הים לפני משה צרי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם
ונאמר כי בד אדוני את יעקב וגיאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We pray for peace, page 45, Hashkivenu, or page 292. Hashkivenu,
סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ועל ירושלים.
We rise for Shamru, page 46 or page 294.
שמרו בני ישראל את השבת
לעשות את השבת לדור תמיד
את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי יתגדל בית חדש מרבה בעלמה דברה קירותה וימליך מלכותה בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יש רבה מברך מעלם מעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתרסה ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי בקודשה ברכו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם ועלמה ואמרו אמן.
We turn now to the silent Amidah, an opportunity to stand in reflection and searching. The formal text is on page 47 in Lev Shalem and on page 296 in Sim Shalom.
סורי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם ואנחנו נברך ים מעתה
Hi,
We continue with Vayichulu, page 53 or page 314. Vayichulu Hashemayim ha'aretz v'chol tzva'am Vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa Vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa Vayarach Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayikadesh oto Ki bo Shabbat mikol melachto Asher bara Elohim לעשות.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ
מגן אבות בדברו מחיי מתים במעברו האל הקדוש ואין כמוהו
אמן יעלמו ביום שבת קודשו כי בו רצה להניח להם
לפניו נעבוד ברב הפחד ונודה לשמוע בכל יום תמיד
מעון הברכות אלוהות אדון השלום מקדש השבת לברך שביעי ומניח בקדושה ועמד ושני עונג זכר למעשה בראשית
אלוהינו אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו רצה במנוחתנו קדשנו מצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך סבינו מטובך ושמח נפשנו משועתך ותאר ליבנו לעובדך באמת והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ורצון שבת קודשך וינוחו הישראל מקדשי שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת Kaddish Shalem, page 54, page 316.
יתכתב יקדש מרבה ואלמד יברך ירצה ואמלך מלכותה בחייכון ובמלכון ובחיי זכו בית ישראל בעגלה בזמן קריב יאמרו
אמן יש מרבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמו לקודש הבריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחימתה דמרמלמה ואמרו אמן
תקבל צלם ותונכו ישרק אדם ונשמע ואמרו אמן
יש למה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
אמן עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו
We turn out to Kiddush. If you have a cup of juice or wine, something else, we invite you to rise if you're able, page 55 or page 318.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא הקודש זכר לציית מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
We turn now to the blessing for our children, Hamalach Goel Oti, and long for the day when we'll have a talit chuppah with the children coming underneath, and we are all under beautiful Sukkot Shalomecha, which is Shabbat, so praying for blessings for everyone. Hamalach Goel Oti,
Hamalach Goel Oti mikol ra, יברך את הנערים ויקרב עליהם שמי, בשם אבותיי בשם אבותיי אברהם ויצחק ויתגוררוב ויתגוררוב בקרב העם.
I invite you to close your eyes as we say the Birkat Kohanim, praying for many blessings for all of us. Yisimech Elohim kesara mivkar Rachel v'Leah. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim u'Manasseh. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yitsa Adonai panav elecha v'asem lecha. Shalom. Amen. Aleinu, page 56 or page 320.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We turn now to Mourner's Kaddish. For those in mourning or marking a yard site, invite those who are in mourning to unmute if you're on Zoom, and also marking a yard site, and please rise if you're able for Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
B'amad divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yamechon uv'chayed chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'yamru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah v'barach le'olam omeh omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata da'amiran be'ama v'yamru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yamru Amen.
Amen.
We want to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
And there have been many deaths in the community this week, so we extend our condolences to Lori Graff on the death of her brother, Stephen Graff Levine, to Ellen Rabinowitz and Richard Sussman on the death of Ellen's cousin, Anita Ross Fine, to Barry and Elaine Waldman and their children, Rebecca and David, on the death of Barry's father, Benjamin Israel Waldman, to David and Julie Schwartz on the death of Julie's father, Cy Goodman, and to Linda and Alan Levin on the death of Linda's father, Philip Friedman. And on the other side of life, we welcome in new members to life and to our community. Mazal Tov to Gail Reichen Tusman on the birth of her grandson, Zeke Martin Tusman, to their parents, Jonathan Tusman and Holly Schulman, and to our BJ Operations Director, who many of you have not yet met because he joined us in August, Jonathan Muniz. He and his wife, Eric Muniz, had a baby girl, Aria Grace Muniz, and we wish them a mazal tov. We can't wait to meet her. Tomorrow morning at 9:30 will be Shabbat morning tefillah. Everyone is welcome to join us via Zoom, if it's working, VJ live stream and Facebook Live. And immediately following the tefillah, Ari will do some Zmirot singing after services, so you can join that. Tomorrow evening at 6:25, we'll join for Arvit and Mindful Havdalah, which is on Zoom. Sunday morning Shacharit is at 9:30, and we are in major gear up for Adar. We are in Adar, but for Purim, which is this coming week. This is Shabbat Zachor, which is a special Shabbat that precedes Purim. And Sunday, there's a walk-through Purim block party. We can't have a carnival like we usually do. So this is the best we can do, and it looks like the weather is going to cooperate, which is somewhat of a miracle these days. So BJ members are invited to join us for a walk-through Purim celebration, block party filled with physically distanced music, fun, and costumes. So you come in costume if you will, and you have to sign up. So there's a number of limited spots, so please go to the website after Shabbat to do that. And also there's a Purim virtual Hamantashen baking that's taking place on Sunday at 3:45. We're going to come together virtually a couple of times on Sunday, and I believe also on Monday, to bake Hamantashen. If you have never done so, this is your chance. And if you're a regular, you can do it in community. So join us for that. The baking will take place in small groups, so it should be intimate. Sign up now, and you can join us for that. And then
Are we eating virtually also?
I had the exact
that's right. It would
thought.
be healthier to eat virtually. And Thursday, which is Tanit Esther, the Fast of Esther. We're co-sponsoring a program with Hadar, a day of learning. It's called V'na Fochu. It was turned upside down. It's going to be a day of marking 1 year, of course, since the beginning of the pandemic. Actually, Shabbat Zachor was the last Shabbat. We were in full community on Shabbat. The following Shabbat, we were just the essential people here of that Shabbat. So there's going to be a day of learning, prayer, service, and ritual with Hadar from 12 to 6. And then in the evening, beginning at 5:45, will be the festivities of Purim with the family celebration, and then the Purim spiel with our Purim kids, and then the celebration for everyone in the community at 7. All the information will come out in an email this week. It's also on the website. Promises to be a great and beautiful, powerful, fun evening. It's important to note that we take Purim very seriously here. Purim is a very powerful and a holiday that, though it seemingly looks childish in a certain degree, actually has a lot of depth and power. And I know, particularly in this year, marking the year we've had, we need the power of Purim. So what's hidden to be revealed, and hopefully it will bring much joy in the coming week. So join us for that.
Just as a little mention, as a curiosity, we sing many times on Shabbat morning. We sing Ashur Shira, we sing Rafat Siri. which is in a page that we used to print,
Yes.
and the page that we've been using is actually from last year. It's a Shabbat
Wow.
Zachor
Wow.
from
Wow.
last year. So,
I didn't notice that. Wow,
It's a-
crazy.
yes.
World is definitely upside down.
Yes.
So we'll conclude with Shalom Aleichem, praying for the angels to come and protect us and grant us peace. Page 73 in Lev Shalem, page 722 in Sim Shalom.
שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, מלאכי רחמים, מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Rachamim, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Brochem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Rachamim, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
בורכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מלאכי רחמים, מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון, מלאכי רחמים, מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון, מלאכי רחמים, מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מלאכי רחמים, מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מלאכי רחמים, מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Adonai oz le'amo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amam b'shalom. Shabbat shalom u'mevarach.
Shabbat shalom.